Hey, how about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live Recruiting Show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. Today is Wednesday, February 26, 2025 for you. It is Tuesday evening, February 25th for us, 2025. Keep that in mind moving forward with any day, today's, tomorrow's, or yesterday's. And we remind ourselves each week not to do that, not to say those words, but by George, we just can't help it. We like to do it. We're rebels. We are going to have a fantastic show for you tonight. Got a lot of good questions. Got a lot of good recruiting questions. Might even slip in a couple of football roster. It's been a hot topic this week. Auburn released its updated height weights for their players, and it's been a hot topic. We might touch on that here at the end of our Q&As. Here with me, as always, Mr. Cole Pinkston, Sir Alan Head. How about you, fellas?
How about you?
How you guys doing tonight, man?
Pretty good.
I'm going to try to give you a genuine response.
Okay. I'm all about genuine.
I'm pretty good.
Okay. I like it.
You made it this time.
Yeah. I'm okay. I appreciate your concern.
I'm still buzzing off of our call. I thought our call-in show was really, really good. You know, you hit the slow periods during the year. It's obviously off season. You got basketball doing well. Obviously, we talk about that, but our callers were great, man. They got me fired up. They got me back on football a little bit. This is a recruiting show, but I've been on football a lot this week. I'm ready to dive back into recruiting, though.
I like it.
Let's see. Hey, before we get started, I wanted to say our sponsor for the show is HelloFresh. Everybody knows HelloFresh. If you don't, what is it? HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your freaking doorstep. Skip those trips to the grocery store. Count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. I can attest to it. Their lineup of prep and bake meals come together with minimal mess, which is big for me, and only 5 minutes of prep, so your oven does most of the work, not you. HelloFresh 15-minute meals are done in just 3 simple steps so you can eat better this year without all the hassle. And there is hassle when it comes to cooking. We all have our personal favorites. I keep mine right here. I'm always a big fan of the stir-fry tacos, the black bean soup, and the chicken sausage and bean soup. Some of the best ones, even the kids like them. Right now, you can get up to 10 free meals and a free high-protein item for life at HelloFresh.com/AuburnLive10FM, as in free meals. That's Auburn Live 10 FM. 1 item per box with active subscription. My goodness, I'm having a tough time reading. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's up to 10 free HelloFresh meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com/Auburn Live 10 FM. America's #1 meal kit. For a reason, folks. I don't mess with America's #2 meal kit. I just don't.
Hey, this is no lie. I cooked a Alfredo deal for the wife and the kid before we got on here. And man, I used an actual card from HelloFresh to remember how to make the make from scratch Alfredo, where you put the butter in the pan, you put the garlic in it.
What a fantastic idea.
Oh, yeah.
What a fantastic idea.
Yeah, it was awesome. HelloFresh, telling you, I'm no like chef, but I know a lot more because of HelloFresh.
There you go, folks. You heard it right from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
Nay. I've been working on my turkey call and my horse call. Nay.
Hey, we're going to need a turkey call at the end of the show then. I'm going to need to hear that. My dad used to work the box, son, and I'm talking about he can make it sound just
I'm working on
right.
my mouth call, and I don't have it handy. I'll have to have that maybe Sunday night. Plus, I think I've got another one coming. So maybe I'll give you a little tutorial. No, I'm just kidding, dude. This is like my second year turkey hunt. I'm just now learning how to do everything. So.
Okay.
But give it hell, man.
We used to sneak the turkey calls, the one you put in your mouth,
Yeah.
Into class and just all around the room, you never know where it's coming from. You get in trouble all the time for that.
They call that the diaphragm.
Yeah.
I'm serious. They do. No kidding. All right, Zach, get us to this. Hey, how about that weather? Oh, Tillman 90663, not to be confused with J Tillman 90664. Do y'all think that Jase Matthews is as good as his rating bump? What are our updated chances, and is there a timeline yet? Let me get everybody familiar with Jase Matthews.
Sure.
He is he had a big ratings bump from on three. All three updated the rankings earlier this week, and he went on three. Let me get the on three comparison up here to I think he's a borderline 5-star.
I think
If
he
he
is
holds.
I think he is a 5 once they extend the rankings out to the top 32 obviously on 3 exclusively. I believe
Okay,
the
here
other
we
sites
go.
don't have him as high.
Okay, on three has him as the 26 overall player, the number 3 wide receiver, the number 2 player in Mississippi, and 24/7 ESPN rivals have him 3-star or unranked. But this kid's blowing up, and the thing about Jase Matthews is that we heard his name before anybody knew who he was. Like, we heard his name like in December. It was like, okay, who are we who's the top wide receivers? And it was the guys that we are, but it was Jase Matthews, and then who's this Jase Matthews coming? He's been here, so Auburn knew he was
that
good.
Picture, Jeffrey, was at the Auburn
or A&M?
Yeah, Louisiana Monroe.
La Monroe, it sure was.
It was a really quiet week, and he was there, and we didn't know who he was, but they had just offered him. And he only had offers from Mississippi State and Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. And maybe one other that was like a G5 school. And then Auburn jumps in, and we interview him. We're like, okay. And I think we may have talked to somebody that day that was like, oh, no, this guy's serious.
Yeah, he's legit.
No, like that guy's legit. You need to know who that is. And they have kept that same thought on him all the way through. I mean, to the point where I knew they were going to get, be in the race for Devin Carter and Denarius Gray and C.D. Morgan. I question, is Jase Matthews on that level? And everything I've gotten back is, yeah.
Tier 1.
Absolutely. So don't take it from us. Take it from Auburn. They treat this guy like a 5-star pretty much.
Right on. He is coming in, or he's planning to be at Big Cat. He's also scheduled an official visit. I think he visited for A&M. He visited for La Monroe. He's coming to Big Cat. He's coming back for an official visit. So he will have been to Auburn 4 times. Was he he was at Junior Day too, was he not?
Yes.
No, he did. Was he?
No, I don't think he made it to Junior Day. I know they visited him.
He was on our list.
Or maybe he did.
Yeah.
Maybe
No. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Look, there's Big Cat. January 25th. He was there.
Okay. Never mind. I'm wrong. Because, that's what it is. He visited, and then they went and saw him at the school, and then that's when your guys' radar went up. That's right. All right.
He wasn't at A&M. He was at La Monroe. He was at the Junior Day. He's coming back for Big Cat, and then he's coming back for the official visit. So he will have been here 4 times in about a 6 or 7 month span.
Got it.
But, Ole Miss is going to be tough.
Texas A&M has actually got some buzz with him as well. I'd say you're looking at the 3 right there that have official visits, probably between those 3, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's between Auburn and A&M at this point. Miami's in there too, but
I was going to say he's got 4 OVs set with Miami being the 4th.
I don't think he's actually been to Miami yet. I think he said that in a recent deal with maybe Chad.
Okay.
But A&M and Auburn, big time schools for him. Ole Miss too, but those 2 are kind of maybe starting to separate a little bit. We'll see.
Timeline, I don't think he's in any hurry. I think the most common timeline you hear right now is at the end of the summer before the senior season. I haven't heard anything different than that.
I love the distance right there. It's actually Auburn is actually closer to where he's from than Ole Miss is. 209
Interesting.
miles, 225.
Interesting.
It is.
I think he's been to Ole Miss more than he's been to any other place. But realistically, some of those visits, you know how it is when they're juniors and sophomores. You're just there to watch the game. You're not necessarily interacting with the coaches in the same way that you are some of the visits later on in your recruiting cycle. So I think these visits matter, and getting him back on campus for Big Cat, if that does come to pass, that's going to be a big deal. I think that's going to be an eye-opener for him for sure.
Wow, good question, JT. Way to get us kicked off, big dog.
Yeah.
Let's see. Holden Afford. All right, Holden, Mr. Afford. What will our spring portal window look like, position and numbers wise? We broke this down last week. But we can do it again. Let's see. We're looking for on offense, a tight end, a wide receiver, maybe an interior offensive lineman.
Yep.
Maybe. No quarterback, no running back, no tight end, wide receiver is what I'm looking at on offense.
Yeah.
Defense, they want a nose or who do they try to get?
A 3-tech.
Definitely
3-tech.
3. Definitely maybe 2 if they can.
Yeah. It depends on
you think they go as far as 3?
Probably not, given the price. I mean, you know what DTs are going for in the portal right now. I can't imagine that they would be willing to leverage that much. It would need to be somebody that they thought was really an upgrade to the roster for them to go into the well in what it would take to get 3 DTs, unless one of them is maybe a young guy they think they can develop. Maybe you get some kind of a break like that.
A couple of DTs, a linebacker.
Yes.
So that was 2 on offense. That's 2 DTs, a linebacker, and then maybe a corner.
Just a DB in general.
DB open for a DB. That would make 5.
Yeah.
Portal additions.
Assuming nobody else leaves, which they probably will.
According to Justin Hokinson's tracker, last I looked at it, I think they were at 84 or 83. Really close.
83, I think. But, again, we expect attrition, right? In certain spots.
There you go. You lose 2 or 3, you gain 5. It worked. There you go. There's your 85. Right.
I don't know if y'all noticed, as of Tuesday, as of us recording this, there's a little portal action today.
So Ricky Gibson, remember him?
Yes, Hewitt Trustful. He's been a starter for Tennessee. He's not just a guy. I mean, he's been playing.
How did he get into the portal?
He said he announced that he's going to go into the portal.
Okay.
Which means he's leveraging for more NIL.
100% it does.
If you missed it, Pete Nakos is the guy on this. He's the guru. There's some action today. I mean, there's a few guys. One guy from Penn State, I believe.
Yeah. Edge guy from Penn State.
So we're back. We're getting there. They're going to start announcing their intentions, and they got a couple spots, man. They're going to have to fill some spots, and they really can take another step forward with the roster, in my opinion, if they get about 4 or 5 really nice pieces.
I'm sorry, I don't want to sidetrack this show, but these agents that get these kids to leverage teams right now on a renegotiation deal, it just makes me sick, man. Just like at least just wait until you go through spring before you do this.
Because it really doesn't do anything. Wait, no. Why announce your intentions of entering in a few weeks or months? Like, what is that? So other coaches can know that you're possibly going to enter? Like, what's the purpose of announcing right now that you plan to enter in the spring?
Forcing Tennessee's hand to
it doesn't open up the phone lines for other coaches. It doesn't do anything for you.
No.
So that's the way that's why I say he's just leveraging, because why else would you?
And here's the other thing. Some of these kids are being advised to do this. They're not all making these decisions by themselves, right? They have marketing and other NIL agents, I guess they're calling themselves now, getting their 20% on top of everything else. So it's a tough business right now to be a college football coach in this environment. And I'm not putting it all on the coaches. Look, it's tough to be these kids sometimes too, but this is the kind of stuff, the underbelly of the sport right now, that kind of makes my stomach turn just a little bit. But anyway, we'll go back into the questions, man. I just had to get that off my chest.
Totally Tigers agree. Unlimited. What are Auburn's chances with Nassir McCoy?
Ooh.
Pretty good.
I'd say good. I have him right now as, if you heat check the article I've been doing.
Yeah.
I'm sort of calling a shot a little bit on some guys that I think, Auburn might be the favorite here. I'm not saying they are.
Mm-hmm.
He's in that category for me.
He would be your if he lands with Auburn, I think he's probably your field safety type. I believe is where they would see Nassir, and then potentially Jira Edwards is more in the box as your boundary other side safety. If you can get those two, that would make a lot of sense to me. And then you've got others like Braylon Womack and a handful of other guys that they're also in on.
Yeah. Oh,
But that was going to be tough.
I don't know about you, Jeffrey. I have gone back and forth on him. Where does he sit on Auburn's board? Is my question.
That was my next statement.
I can't get a great read on that for some reason. And usually when that's the case, I mean, you know when somebody's high on the board. You don't have to question it.
Right. And I'm not. Yeah, I agree.
I'm not saying he's not. He very well may be.
He might be a tier 1 guy. I do not know.
Right. Sure. And to be fair, TJ's, I think we're still getting accustomed to how he recruits and who he recruits. Because he's new to being on the, what are they calling it now? It's not on the field. Everybody's on the field. So I guess 10 designated on the road recruiters. What are we even calling it now?
The 10.
The 10.
Part of the 10.
Part of the 10. Let's go with that.
Let's see. Carterman 427. Gun to head. Do we fire up the Banshee and land Bryce Perry Wright, Ernest Rankins, and Vodney Cleveland? What impresses y'all most about each of them?
Ooh.
Love these questions so far. We got 4 good ones so far.
Fire up the Banshee.
Carter, man.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I like I guess where Auburn is in all 3 of those recruitments. I wouldn't call Auburn the leader in all of them.
How about listing these 3 in most likely to least likely?
Okay.
I like that.
Cole?
Most likely for me would be Bryce Perry Wright.
Oh.
Okay.
And then least likely would be Vodney right now. As it stands today. As it stands today.
Okay. Where's Vodney trending to?
Florida
a little bit.
What in the hell is going on down there, Keith Niebuhr? What are they putting in the water in the swamp?
I'm not ready to go all in on saying Florida's like the team to beat yet.
Sure.
But trending is a fair term to use with this. I think trending a little bit.
Yeah.
The way I see it, you don't stay the same. You're either trending up or down every day. And Florida, I think, is trending up a little bit right now. And Auburn may be down a little bit right now. But that's like I said with this recruitment, I expect a lot of different things here.
I think Florida's done a good job with their prioritization of NIL targets and who they like. I think they're doing a good job of pegging who they think they can get. And they've got some kids' attention to, when I've kind of asked around on this some, but I will counter you, Cole, and say I think Ernest Rankins is most likely, followed by Bryce Perry Wright, followed by Vodney.
I'm going with the only intel I have, and I'll play devil's advocate here. I think in the end, I think Vodney Cleveland is going to end up at Auburn right now.
I don't disagree with you in the end.
No, I don't disagree either.
I think that's one of those. Eric Winters is trending to Georgia, right?
Yeah,
and then Auburn does what they need to do to make sure that they secure him and keep him.
He's now at Parker, right?
Yep.
Yes.
I love the relationship he has with Montreal. We've talked about this before and how he's one of the very, very few true noses in this class, and Auburn's got to have one. So you think Auburn's going to prioritize this? I think Hugh Freeze is going to prioritize him being at Parker. So I would say Vodney, and I think Bryce Perry Wright, I have him at 2. I don't know much about Ernest. Is he the one that y'all like better at offensive tackle?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. I'm making sure that's the same guy I'm thinking of.
I mean, I haven't seen him play offensive tackle, but his frame looks more like a tackle to me than a interior D lineman. But who knows how he feels out. I mean, he's quiet. I couldn't get much out of him when I saw Sam Turner play, talk to him. He likes him.
Yep, that's him. Okay. All right. So impresses y'all. Y'all watch them. I haven't. What are y'all impressed by each of them the most?
With Bryce Perry Wright, for me, it's first up quickness. I mean, he's an undersized defensive tackle. He lines up kind of across the board some. You'll see him at that 5-tech end, you'll see him inside at the 3. He slides across the front, and that's a big thing for this staff. They like versatility, and I think DJ Durkin can utilize him in some different ways. But that first step quickness and then his ability to use leverage. Some guys struggle with that at this stage in the high school ranks. They'll play too straight up. He plays with nice lean and leverage. So those are the things for me. With Ernest, it's probably his length. I see a lot of like Malik Autry type length with him, and so that's impressive for the frame. I'm with Cole. He does look like an offensive tackle, but Malik looked like an offensive tackle to me too. And then the feedback that I've gotten on him to this point has been positive as far as how he's transitioned into defensive tackle from some of the feedback I got from the All-Star game and then what I've heard so far. Now, again, they're not in pads. They're in shorts. This is volunteer workouts and kind of what they're retaining coming over from football school or whatever they're calling it, where they're on the whiteboard and then they're going to go out in the field and do some volunteer workouts. So we'll see what that looks like in spring. And then finally, obviously with Vodney, it's how he anchors against the run. I mean, he's a true nose tackle, somebody that can absolutely take on doubles and be that guy for you that can kind of control the middle and make sure your linebackers play free.
Go, anything stand out to you about those three guys that Alan didn't mention?
I agree with all that. Explosiveness for Bryce Perry Wright. He is explosive. I mean, I'm not comparing him to Marcus Harris, but I felt like you had a small drop off with explosiveness on your D line after he left. I think Bryce Perry Wright feels that immediately.
Yes.
So does Antonio Coleman, for that matter. Darion Smith has it going on too. These are all undersized D linemen, that I'm naming here, but I love an undersized D lineman. I don't care about that as much. Almost the opposite end of the spectrum is Ernest Rankins. He's like completely opposite with the length, like you said. And then Vodney's just, I think if he gets in his mind that he's a plugger and he understands that role, I think he can be really good at it.
Okay. All right. I like it. Space Otter wants to know, based on current commitments, the 6 I think Auburn has committed. Is that right? 6 in gut feels. Can you guys give your positions? Can you guys give your positions that are trending up and positions that may be of concern in this class, I'm guessing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Trending up. So for me, edge.
It's trending up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm not to say receiver just because
that's what I was about to say. I don't know that I'm ready for that. I mean, you've got Devin Carter, you got Denarius Gray, and you think Auburn's going to land at least two of the stud 5 or the tier 1 guys that they are targeting. So trending up. I like what I'm seeing at linebacker.
Yeah.
Concern. Now I'm going off of star power alone, and it's freaking February. Like, we just had signing day 2025, so take this with a grain of freaking salt and chunk it over your right shoulder.
Sure.
But the early rankings on the offensive line, they're not concerning to me though. That's not. It's just they're not. I'm not. Like with wide receiver, you've got 4 and 5 star guys that they're targeting. They're getting in on visits. The edge guys, they're 4 and 5 star guys getting in on visits. Offensive line is not like blowing me away.
Sure.
Like Iheanacho's not really locked in with Auburn, and some of these other 4 and 5 star guys in offense. I mean, there's not a lot of. You look at the offensive lineman Auburn has right now locked in for official visits. And it's not very impressive if you're going off of stars.
I think that's very fair. Now, I will say, I do believe that Dominic Harris and Zaire have an opportunity to rise in the rankings a good bit.
Sure.
If you kind of watch their tape and see what they're made of, and then you look at their offer list. I think those are two.
There's no telling what happens with your Australian guy.
Right.
I mean, there's some interesting pieces there, but yeah.
I'm looking at the guys that they have locked in right now. Gavin Miller, 3-star guy from Wisconsin.
Is it Miller? Is that how you say it?
Meyer.
Is it
Oh,
Meyer?
dude, I cannot see. I swear to God, it said
Miller.
Offensive lineman Parker Pritchett. I like
Yes.
him. I don't care what he's ranked. I like him.
Yep.
Wilson Zaire. I like him. Don't care what he's ranked.
Yep. But again,
how about Deron Parks? You got Deron Parks in there.
Delton Toothman is unranked. Dominic Harris is unranked. Who did you say? Toothman? Who did you say?
Parks.
It's Dalton.
What'd I say?
Delton.
I gotta go get my glasses, dude.
Good Lord.
I'm arm's length from my computer. I cannot realize.
Oh, old age is getting you, brother.
Oh, Delton. I just cruised right by that one, didn't I?
It's just because he's from Mississippi. You thought it might be Delton.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, you know what? I'm looking at this list. You know what else is impressive? The dadgum tight ends list.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Ben's done great work.
Yes. I mean, he may not sign a damn one of them, but geez Louise, J.C. Anderson, Evan Jacobson, 4-star. I mean, he's got like 4 of the top 20 tight ends in the country set for, and they're from all over the place.
Xavier
Taylor. Xavier Taylor. He's got, I wrote about somebody, Caden Prothrow.
Braden Fogel.
Fogel was today or Tuesday.
Yeah, no, Ben's done.
Yeah, he's got like
really
5 of the top 20 tight ends coming in for a visit.
No, that was the one I was thinking of when I talked about it being impressed. I thought tight end recruiting in this cycle is probably the one that jumps out to me the most. I kind of almost expect it from Marcus right now. I mean, he has proven himself to this point to be a recruiter, and I don't think that Ben has not. I mean, I thought Ben had a good cycle last class and got 2 guys on 3. Wasn't as high on them as some other sites, but I really liked what he landed in last class, and then you combine it with the efforts in this one, and I think Ben's really starting to make a name for himself. But I hear you. To your point on the offensive line, and Cole, you said this a while back, I don't think it's going to be sexy from a star standpoint in this class.
Yeah.
But realistically, offensive line is probably the one that's the most difficult from an evaluation standpoint. Like you see it year in and year out where there are 5-star guys that bust big time on the offensive line because it's such a developmental position. I mean, it is heavily developmental. So long as you're getting guys that fit the framework of what you want to do from a protection standpoint, and you feel as though you can develop them, that's what's important in stocking enough numbers every year. You've got to take 4 or 5 every year from high school and fill gaps with portal prospects.
I'm not overly worried about the O-line right now.
No.
I think they're going to land Parker Pritchett. I think they're going to end up with Wilson Zierer.
I like him.
I think, there's a
potential
couple
4-star guys right there, right?
Sure. Maybe, maybe not, but I like them. Deron Parks, I've heard some good things recently. Dalton Toothman, I know Auburn thinks he's one of the best interior offensive linemen in the country. So Darius Gray, they're going to get him in for an official visit. You got some moving parts there that I like.
Do they have Parks at right tackle? Is that where they like him, Cole?
Yes.
Who's that?
Deron Parks. He's listed as an interior, but Auburn likes him at tackle.
Okay.
So, he's interesting. Tell you one position that I think is on the up right now would be corner. I like some of these names I'm seeing at corner. I like some of the traction they're getting with like maybe Preston Ashley. I think they're going to have a nice little class there. Safety too. The one that concerns me, even though there are a lot of names, is D-line. And I think Vontrell King-Williams has proven he's a good recruiter. I think he is. I think he's going to have a nice class. But, gosh, the importance of that position right now to find guys that can come in and play. Because you don't want to be in year 4 and still having to go get 3 guys from the portal, 4 guys.
Yeah.
You got to find a way to get out of that rhythm. You got to change the flow there. And I think a really good D-line class would do that, and I think they feel the same way.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be easy.
No, there's a lot of competition. And Look, that's how you build a program, right? It's inside out. And the teams that build their programs that are, have dominant offense and defensive lines year in and year out, they don't have those dips that you've seen Auburn have, where we've been really good. And then when the offensive line or the defensive line isn't where it's supposed to be, you see that dip in win production. Now, obviously, it's been a struggle for us for the last 4 years, but I think we're finally getting ready to come out of that. And I say we, I mean Auburn is getting ready to come out of that. But it's because of the recruiting that's occurred across the defensive line. And so, again, you're right. Vontrell needs to have another big class to make sure he solidifies that as something that can be counted on moving forward.
Let's see what AU Brian 98. Thompson in high school in Alabasta, Alabama. With the Thompson pipeline in full force last year. Thompson pipeline had the punter, had the safety, had the edge.
Jared Smith, yeah.
And last year, are there any good ones this year to keep an eye on? 26 class. We know Trent Seaborn's in 2027. I haven't heard any Thompson guys though.
No.
You got is it who's the no, he's at Central, I think. Tristan Lyles is who I was thinking of.
Yeah,
he's at Central, but with Edge, man, there's so many guys. You don't make it down to that guy this year, probably, right?
Yeah, be tough.
I don't think so.
But yeah, nobody, at least right now, Brian, that we're aware of.
There's going to be some young cats there. You know there will. Trent Seaborn, obviously.
I really like him. I don't know if he's a great fit for the offense at Auburn or Hugh Freeze's system. I don't know. I don't feel like Auburn's prioritizing him a lot right now, which is surprising to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that they figured out what they're going to do with the 26 class at this point. I'll be honest, but maybe they have. Maybe they have figured out what they're going to do in 26, and I don't necessarily feel the urgency from that standpoint. Like I don't feel like they're knocking down the door for anybody in 26, so it's hard for me to weigh in on 27 when I don't see traction in 26. But those two classes aren't necessarily related. But I'm with you.
I guess, and the reason I say that is because I see the updates on Trent, and I see him taking visits. And we've known about this kid since he was, in fourth grade. Seems like at least. But I've seen the updates with him, and it's like Auburn's not mentioned much by him as to whom is recruiting him the hardest. Auburn's and Hugh Freeze has a fantastic relationship there with Mark Freeman, and I thought maybe Trent would either, at the very least, be throwing Auburn in there, throw him a bone. But I just haven't seen it. So as far as Thompson goes, I don't know of anybody in the 2026 class that's tier 2 guy or up.
Yeah, the most highly regarded player right now from Thompson is Peter. Is it Ramel or Ramil? The younger brother of Stanton. Yeah.
Whatever happened to Stanton?
He's at Michigan State, isn't he?
He's still at Michigan State, I think.
Still trying to get that car working.
Yeah.
Bro, that was the one that just keeps on giving on the board for sure.
I don't care if anybody knows it. I'll never forget the interview I had with him, son.
He was ready, wasn't he?
He went into it. He was not into it.
Oh.
Hey, look. I won't forget it.
Was he playing at Michigan State?
I honestly don't know. I haven't paid attention to him since he committed.
Oh, Stanton Ramel and Reese Baker. Great day in the morning.
Those two.
Reese, I think he played a little bit at Tulane, actually.
Did he?
I think so.
Good for Reese, man.
Reserve, but I think he played some as a freshman.
Okay.
If you want to be a doctor and you don't really care two shits about going to the NFL, you just want to get your medical school paid for.
Tulane's a great medical school.
I mean, good for you, big dog. Let's see. Dennis Rodman. Do you see Auburn landing Anthony Tank Jones, Xavier Crowell, or Jaquez Wilkes? At least one.
Yes on Wilkes, no on the other two for me.
That's where I'm at too.
Definitely, definitely Wilkes. I just don't see the other two, especially Crowell for some reason. I'm not feeling that one at all.
Very odd.
It is, isn't it? Hey, boy, did he jump in the rankings.
Well, and he's a good player. I mean, I think we all knew he was a really good player.
He is, but I wouldn't put him over Jay Lamar. That's just me.
No, I mean, I don't think I would either, Cole, but we won't get into the politics of how rankings work.
BBP. Will this be the last A Day as we know it on April the 12th? As you know it, I don't know.
To me, it hasn't been the same in years.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't been the same since probably. I'm trying to think. Chiswick he had a good A Day.
He did. You remember he tried that wonky point system the first time?
Yeah, I didn't like that.
But that was back when they were competing, right? They were at least competing.
Yes. I mean, you saw both ones versus ones in a spring game.
And like hitting and freaking, they were going 100%. I'm trying to think, did Gus do 100% contact? And
he did, but
I think he did too.
He would do ones versus twos, and then he would get his ones out of there by the beginning of the second quarter.
That was the start of the decline. Like when you started, and then now it's a waste of my time.
It is.
Except for the recruiting aspect of it.
Sure. Personally, and we talked about this last year when we found out that, Ole Miss was doing a flag football game and a hot dog eating contest with Joey Chestnut. That, you know what I mean? That Lane was probably a little bit ahead of the curve because I think that's the way it's going. If spring games are even going to still be a thing, I honestly believe
spring practice is even going to be a thing.
Right. I honestly believe in 2 years they're not going to have spring practice. It's going to be summer OTAs unless they're able to modify something with the transfer portal.
Yes.
I have a prediction in that case. We're going to see some real sloppy football in the future at the beginning of seasons. I'm talking turnover left and right. I don't mean at Auburn. I mean everywhere. Fundamentals are out the window.
But they would make that up. They would start summer earlier, right? They would take those 15 practices and just move them to like July.
Yeah, you would move them to June. So what you would try to do, or when I've talked to people about this, the thought would be you would have 15 practices in June, 10 of those padded, where you could thud and everything else, and then have the month of July to let kids recover before you go back into August.
Makes so much sense when you think about like the transfer portal and the calendar the way it is right now. You would think about Ashton Daniels coming in, the transfers, so not the mid-year guys. The prioritization of getting mid-years would lessen. It would be much more organized, I think, to do your 15 in June.
I think what they would probably try to do is still keep early signing day for high school in December. Like, I think they actually kind of like the fact that you sign that early and you get that.
Oh, I love that.
And then you just wouldn't open the transfer portal until like February the 1st. All the championship games are played. You don't have to worry about people jumping into the portal during this time period. So people
spring semester.
Yeah. So they jump into the portal February 1. You have to be in by then. You can take all your visits in March. You know where you're going to go. You enroll. You start your first practice in June. That's kind of, I believe that's what the Coaches Association and a couple others are pushing for right now, is to make one condensed window of the portal, make it 30 days. You're done. I know they've got another where they're trying to make it into 10 days and it's all in like January. That's not going to fly. You're going to have to give more time than that. But I think if they can get everything moved with the schedule to where you don't have spring practice and there's not that push to get guys in like, hey, we've got to have you in January so you can be here for spring, it would change the dynamics of how everything and declutter December. Because that's the issue, right? Like there's so many moving parts in December and January that it's hard for these coaches to maneuver and breathe. And realistically, if you're in the playoff, you're kind of penalized because you can't focus on portal recruiting like everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Let's see. KMR4AU. Has there been a change in the excitement level from recruits talking about the possibility of playing with Jackson Arnold or Deuce versus the previous recruits talking about Peyton Thorne? Oh, of course.
Yeah, well, I mean, Peyton Thorne's from Illinois, so it's not like there was a connection with anybody other than Sam Jackson beforehand.
Right.
Deuce Knight is well known around these parts. All right. Jackson Arnold's well known in Texas, so it's kind of tough there. But he's already played on the collegiate level, so that in itself, and he was, phenom recruit.
Sure. Everybody knows both of those guys. Nobody knows Peyton Thorne.
Yeah, I can tell you that my feedback when Jackson Arnold signed was Cam Coleman was excited about Jackson Arnold being the quarterback because of the credibility he had coming out of high school.
And everybody that Auburn's recruiting at wide receiver knows Deuce Knight very well. They're very familiar with this young man and the credibility that he has. So, yes, absolutely, KMR. Absolutely. That's – and we talked about this a little bit last week. Auburn hasn't got a 2026 quarterback, so you don't – as Alan, I think, said last week, maybe it was the week before, you're not selling that 2026 quarterback to the 2026 wide receivers. You're selling Deuce Knight to those 2026 wide receivers. So, big difference there, KMR. Rock Hod. What's the most memorable recruitment you've ever covered? Well, we all know what that is for me. It could be a recruit with a great and fun family, wild recruiting stories, a big commit that came out of nowhere, etc. Jarrell Poe for me, and nothing will ever top that. I think it was my first year in the business, and we didn't have. Do we have? No, this was like 2004. Anyways, everybody knows the story by now, but if you don't, Rock Hod. Jarrell Poe and I had developed I was trusting, he had Steve Gandy was already on the team, so I knew Jarrell personally, and he was going to let me break his commitment. Auburn had just won the national championship that they don't claim. Went to the Tumors Corner for the parade. Jarrell said, you can put this commitment, because they didn't have Twitter back then. You actually broke the commitment. And I went up to me and Brian Matthews did. I was working for Rivals, and I put up the story. And Brian looks at me at Tumors Corner and says, Jarrell Poe just committed to LSU.
Yeah, because he transferred to Ole Miss under Ed Orgeron.
He did it for the kids. And there wasn't like I could get on my phone and take the story down. So it was up for like half a day. Jarrell Poe commits to Auburn, and I had quotes and everything. I picked Auburn because of this, and I love Auburn because of that, and I'm so proud. Auburn War Eagle. All right, I'm ready to go. And he committed to LSU for the kids. Did it for the kids, he said.
Was Saban still at LSU then, or was that Les Miles' group? I can't remember.
2004.
I believe it was Saban, wasn't it?
Sounds like Saban to me.
I think it was. I don't think Saban went to the Dolphins until 2005.
LSU football coach. Let's see. What year would that have been? 2004, right?
Yeah, it was 2004. Would have been the 2005 signing class, though, wouldn't it?
Nick Saban.
Yeah.
He was the head coach of the 2004 LSU team. So
that makes sense.
Saban's been screwing me since the first year of my career, making me look like an idiot for freaking 20-something years now.
Cole, you'll have one that you actually covered, but for me, just following recruiting, nothing will ever be the first Big Cat weekend, the coverage that you provided, Jeffrey, with Trevon and Blake Seastrunk and Marcus Lattimore and Mike Dyer and Dakota Mosley and multiple others that showed up.
Dakota Mosley.
I was
Jawara White, I think, from Charles.
Rah,
yeah.
Charles Henderson. Yep.
Zach Etheridge was he was still in high school. No, he was coming out, wasn't he?
He was on the team, yeah. So Zach was actually on that team. That was the year he broke his neck, remember?
Oh.
In the Halloween game.
Forgot all about that.
Against Ole Miss, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember
that. It was. Auburn used to play Ole Miss on Halloween or the week of Halloween.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another one was I remember Alex Jackson, or was it Alex?
Yes.
Alec.
Yeah, he committed on Christmas Day.
I remember that. I didn't cover it, but I remember seeing it.
I had to jump down from my tree stand and run back to the house.
Was that the same year that Seth Williams committed on Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Yeah.
thought you
I
might say,
don't get paid enough for this shit.
I thought you might say Brent Callaway.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
Yeah,
look,
that
man.
was
Yeah.
that was fun. That was really fun. It was fun.
That was investigative reporting on your part, man.
It was all the stuff that led up to that was fun. That was real cool.
I don't know if I have any crazy ones yet. I have some memorable ones. Like I said earlier, Stanton Ramil, I'll never forget that. I waited for him for 2 hours, man. He did, and he gave me the one-word answer over and over and over, and
Yeah,
went
good.
into it. I won't go any further into it, but it was not a great confrontation.
Just bitter beer face the whole time.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he drank a Keystone.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't. Yeah, he wouldn't. Anyway, DeMarcus Riddick was probably my favorite of all of them because
Yeah.
You were right, man.
I'll just tell you, yeah, it felt good. That felt good. But I'll tell you why I was right, because I kept saying I had a good source on this one. Well, you know, I talked to DeMarcus a good bit, and I went to the school and knew a bunch of people there, and I guess he felt comfortable. He was like, I think Auburn's my place, man. And he just started telling me all about why he liked Auburn, and I was like, cool. That sounds good to me. I believe you. And he picked Auburn in the end, and, you know, Joe Phillips, man, I always loved Joe Phillips. He's a funny guy. First time I ever called him, he was at McDonald's working.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I'm flipping burgers, man. I'm going to call you back. And I was like, yeah, that's never going to happen. He calls me back 10 minutes later. He goes, all right, I'm on my break. Like, okay.
Flipping burgers at McDonald's.
Respect. And we talked for like 10 minutes to the point where he was in mid conversation and was like, hey, I got to go back.
I tell you what, this wasn't Auburn related. I'm sorry, Cole. Finish it up, big dog.
That was it.
Jacob Copeland. Never forget that.
That's a big one, man.
I wasn't here for the what's the big Alabama lineman?
Oh, you talking about
Reuben Foster was another one.
Reuben Foster was a big one, but you're talking about the one Hope covered it. It was oh God, Rashawn Evans.
Oh no, that one too. I'm so glad I wasn't there for that.
Yeah,
yes, yeah. Quangio. That's what I said.
Yeah,
of all the ones, and Rashawn Evans was rough for Auburn fans. Reuben Foster was rough. TJ Yeldon to an extent was pretty rough. Of all the ones, to me, Quandrio does not get talked about enough. Yeah. That was wild, man.
I didn't even pay attention to that.
And I think, Jeffrey, if I remember correctly, you predicted him to Auburn last second. You were like, you know what? I don't have any solid intel on this, but I'm going Auburn. Like that was your recruiting prediction piece. And then the kid picked Auburn. Now he looked like he fainted on stage directly thereafter.
Now he announces Auburn on national television.
Yes.
Huge story. And then he signs with Alabama.
Yeah, his parents refused to let him send in his NIL.
Yeah, that's right.
NLI. And then like 2 days later, he signs with Bama.
And listen, I just learned this, but knowing now what I know about Reuben Foster's recruitment, man, Alabama was good.
Yeah, they were.
They were good.
Yeah. Unreal good.
They were really good at what they did.
Now, I tell you this. If Trooper Taylor is still at Auburn, I think Reuben Foster would have ended up at Auburn, even knowing everything I know on that deal. And I'm with you on that.
Well, it wasn't like Auburn was playing angel over here. It wasn't like Auburn was going, well, we got family. We're the family school, man. I know they're offering you this, and we just want you to be part of the family. That's not what Auburn was doing, big dog. Trust me, Auburn was in that game too.
For sure.
But they wasn't getting him.
No.
Not without Trooper.
Not with it. That was the one, right? Because Trooper was the tie on that. Blaze was in school at Auburn. Him and Reuben were tight. If Gus had kept Trooper, you would have kept Reuben Foster in that class, in my opinion.
God, I don't remember who.
Can't forget Antonio Coleman. And
oh Lord, yeah. Tony Mitchell was a big flip flopper. He committed to Auburn the night before. How about the kid Scooby committed to Al?
Oh yeah, and then 2 days later said, "No, I'm out."
Yeah. Went to Florida.
There's
Stud.
been some interesting transfer portal guys. I mean, I
Yeah.
won't forget Mosiah Nasili Kite just because of how. I mean, I just love the way he went on his visit. We talked to him after, and we're like, so, what's next for you? What schools, He goes, well, I'm going to move in over there and get my stuff. And like, oh, okay, good. Committed.
And Ashton Daniels this year actually walked down. Were you there for that one?
No, I missed that one.
Okay. He walks down and he was like, yeah, man, it was great. I'm really looking forward to it. I think we're gonna be really good and looking forward. And I was like, so you coming? And he was like, yeah. All right, cool, man. Now this actually happened a couple of times with transfers this year, but they wanted to do the graphic. They wanted to make their own announcement. So Ashton was like, listen, I was like, all right, go. Look, give me your commitment story quotes. I'll have the story ready. When you announce it, I'll put it up. I won't have to call you again. So he gives me and Christian and Caleb, whoever else was there, the commitment story quotes. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to announce it tomorrow. And we were like, okay, cool. And then somebody else came down, so we were interviewing him. And, of course, like 5 minutes later, Ashton Daniels is, Hayes Fawcett, committed to Auburn. Like,
oh, yeah.
Fire the stuff.
Yeah.
Tell you, Jeremiah Cobb, I went and talked to a lot. He got pushed pretty hard from Georgia at the end. And after I had talked to him so many times, he always would look. He finally said, I've met you before. I was like, He goes, you used to work at the YMCA? I was like, yeah. He was a kid at the YMCA when I was a camp counselor there. Absolutely.
No way. Hey, two more just popped up real quick. Who was the center that signed with Auburn? He's a transfer.
Ben. God, what was it from Arizona? Yeah, Ben Scott.
Ben Scott. Yes. So yeah, he leaves and Auburn comes in. I was like, yeah, man, he's in. He signed. I was like, all right, cool, man. I put him at 100%. Yeah, he's done deal, man.
And then Matt Rule flipped him the next day.
And he signed somewhere. Where'd he go?
Nebraska.
Yes. So I was like, hey. And then, freaking Jeffrey Imba.
Yes, this past year. I was going to say that.
So, and I don't think I've said this before, but so Imba comes down. He's again the Ashton Daniels stuff. Hey, man, I'm in. Look, I'm glad to be back. This is home to me. All right, we're gonna hold these. When are you gonna announce? He's like, I'll put it out today, and then it was today, and it was like, oh, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow, and then tomorrow it was like, I'm gonna wait till Thursday, and Thursday, and I was like, I think that we all know by now you're going, something's not adding up, and I actually checked, and they're like, yeah, man, I mean, it's just up to him. Whenever he wants to announce. And I was like, okay. And then he ended up signing out of nowhere. But I think by this time we had pulled we had knew something was up by this time.
Yeah. But too much time had gone by. And in the portal, if that much time goes by without them making a declaration.
Not good.
Yeah. Somebody's agent's in somebody's ear or the kid changed his mind, what have you.
Okay, so anyways, so I'm gonna give you the quote from Imba after that. So I'm like, hey man, what happened, big dog? Let's say that this process showed me that word without action don't mean nothing, don't mean anything. Okay, I was like, oh yeah, it makes perfect sense, man. I hear you, big dog. Best of luck to you, man. Appreciate you. I have no idea what happened, but that was it went on for like a week, right? It was like every other day, and he was like, yeah, tomorrow, Thursday. And I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, it doesn't. And then it was, I don't know if I can get in. And I'm going, dude, you just transferred from here. Like, if you can get in anywhere, you can get back into Auburn. Hey, and speaking of which, have you noticed we haven't heard any progress towards degree drama?
Yeah.
The sports management drama?
Yeah.
We haven't heard any of that lately.
No, we haven't, have we?
Forgot about it.
And I wonder if that's Auburn doing pre-work on these guys and going, okay, we can't, not even bringing them in. I just don't think I don't know if that's a problem anymore.
Do you think part of it is just, all right,
well, first of all, if the NCAA is blocking them, then they're going to sue the NCAA from not being able to go to Because if I can't get into Auburn because I've got a progress towards degree bullshit rule that I'm not up to standards.
Sure.
So I just don't think there's any rule.
Well, that, and I think compliance and the academic counselors have gotten that much better about how they can count classes and creatively creating degrees to get these guys into. So I think it's probably two fronts, right? Like, yes, there's probably less resistance from the NCAA on progress towards degree. And I also think Auburn's probably doing a better job, whether they have a sports management major or not. They're finding a degree path for them to get into where all of that is applicable.
Well, you can do what I did. Go to interdisciplinary studies. Sports management's a minor now.
Oh,
I'm telling you, a lot of guys do that. It's big in sports now. Interdisciplinary studies.
Oh gosh, we've been blabbing our mouth. We got to do some how about yous, man, and get out of here.
There we go.
All right.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 7, big dog. I'm gonna go get it started real quick. All right. How about you to Ed Guy 85? How about you, big dog? How about you to AU Samurai? How about you to Kim Ray 22? How about you to Canadian Tiger? Probably the poster of the week. Canadian Tiger. After the Battle of the Four Nations and Canada won that night. He said the most Canadian thing. It was like, I can't remember, but he's like 11. He called America the 11th province. I laughed for minutes at that. How about you, big dog Canadian Tiger? Congrats on that. How about you to RIPD? How about you to J. Lee's Pinkhead, who's been on a freaking tear lately? He's been on a heater. ×2. J. Lee's Pinkhead ×2. And then how about you to Al Capone?
Good ones. Yeah, J. Lee's Pinkhead's on my list, Jeffrey.
Okay.
So go ahead and count him.
Okay.
Braden.
Yeah.
Our Selma affiliate out there working in tandem with Edward, I'm sure.
Okay.
There you go.
I can't read it on here. It goes a little too far, but did it own me? It owned me. Just know that. Frank Goldberg. Frank Goldberg also had one that owned me. It was just funny. When we were talking about Walmart bags the other day. JMK 205.
Good one.
I'm
gonna do you a ×2 on him. He's a good one.
Make that a cubed.
Okay.
Oh, really? Are you referring, Alan, to his long post he made where it was about where all of the top 5 high school offensive tackles are now from the class?
I missed that.
17 to 20. Yeah. That was a great little case study there. So,
well, I'll be damned. I didn't see that.
So you can notice some of my comments about busts.
I would love to see that. I might have to go check that out.
It was
JMK 2. He's a good poster.
I have one more, and that's Turner Walker. Let me tell you what happened. I was in Auburn Saturday with my wife and kid, and we were just hanging out, had some dinner, watched the game, all that kind of stuff. Walked by this guy had a Prattville shirt on, and I gotta speak
for
to
sure
Prattville guys. I was kind of on the move. We were in a crowd. I saw him. I go, "Hey, Prattville guy!" Yelled it out. Kept walking. Turner Walker messaged me, "Hey man, you couldn't stop and talk."
Wow. So,
not only is he a great poster, becoming one of my favorites, by the way.
Okay.
That's on me, Turner Walker. Next time, I'm gonna stop. You better believe it.
Alan Head.
Okay, got 3 of them. First one is AU full-time. We had a little difference of opinion on the board, but he was respectful about it, so I appreciated him on that one. Bruce Goat Pearl.
Is that actually the letters or the animal?
The animals. The animals. So Bruce and then Goat in all caps and then Pearl.
Oh, I thought you meant like it's not an emoji or something.
No.
Okay.
All spelled out.
Okay.
I did not know what you meant by that. I was like, what?
Somebody's got like an emoji in there, like a goat. Or is that?
Yeah.
And then BW.
Okay. I also want to add in Hendo.
Yes, dude.
Hendo 74, big dog.
One of the best conversations we've had on the call-in show in
Absolutely.
a long time.
Yeah, it was good. Somebody in the comments on there said, "Well, I didn't have the Auburn Live show talking about jam bands on my bingo card, but I ain't mad about it."
No. He's like, this is awesome.
Oh, all right. Let's see. Ed Guy 85, AU Samurai, Kim Ray 22, Canadian Tiger, RIPD. Appreciate you, big dog. J Lee's Pinkhead times 2.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
Al Capone, Braden, Frank Goldberg, JMK 205 times 3. Got a cubed on here, big dog. Turner Walker, how about you, big dog? How about you, AU Full-Time, Bruce Goat Pearl, B-Dub, and Hendo 74.
There you go.
Fantastic week on the corner. Fantastic night of questions. We appreciate it. We're going to, don't forget about HelloFresh and the deal that they've got going on right now. Get up to 10 free meals and a free high-protein item for life at HelloFresh.com/AuburnLive10FM. That's HelloFresh.com/AuburnLive10FM. 1 item per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on the first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. There's 10 free HelloFresh meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com/AuburnLive10FM. All right, folks, that's going to do it tonight. Look for Sunday night. I'll tell you what, look for a little surprise coming on Thursday. Might have us a little Auburn Live free, Auburn Live Plus show. Extra edition. Cole's got something in the works as well. So y'all stay tuned to that Auburn Live page. If you haven't already, subscribe to it. Get those notifications turned on. You will not be disappointed. You'll know when the videos are being launched. Auburn Live on 3. If you want to check out the website, got a first week for $1. Right now is a fantastic time to join. Come check us out. Come spend a little time with us on the corner. All right, folks, that's going to do it, man. Look for Sunday night for Cole Pinkston, for Alan Head, for Zach in the back who stayed in the back. I'm Jeffrey Lee, man. Y'all stay at that left lane.